Around 2010, I started looking into space anomalies.
Okay.
And from there, I recognized some of these anomalies appeared to match some of the megalithic structures on Earth. These are from images from NASA, the European Space Agency, the Russian Space Agency, and so forth. I'm looking at Mars, the Moon, Venus, even looking at moons of Saturn. And I started recognizing things that just didn't belong. And so I'm like, if this looks like that, and we have this here on Earth, and this looks like, could this be the same ancient culture? Maybe they were,
you started piecing things and putting two and two together.
So I started researching. I started digging into ancient texts, ancient tablets. Long story short, I've gone through over 1 million cylinder scrolls, tablets, text, cuneiform stones, cylinder scrolls. I mean, you name it. I've gone through them all.
And you are convinced about what now?
I am totally convinced that a interplanetary, maybe even intergalactic race came through our area, engaged mankind, created multiple breakaway civilizations in this sector of the galaxy, and ruled for probably millions of years before it collapsed.
Did they seed us?
I believe that we were seeded based on my conversations with the Aboriginal elders when I went to Australia.
Sure.
I believe that they were seeded.
You've been everywhere.
I've been everywhere, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
They said that we were seeded here. We were the first people seeded on this planet by the Pleiadians. And so also I believe that our cousins, before we were genetically modified, were also seeded here during the time of those wars that were going on. It was a preservation type of a thing, just like we preserve, unfortunately I won't use the name animals, but we preserve animals by taking them and moving them to different areas on the planet.
In our solar system, is there anything unusual about any of the planets?
There's a
in
lot
your opinion?
Yes, a lot of unusual things. For example, the way that our moon is geostationary locked with the rotation of Earth. The distance from the Earth to the moon allows it to create a perfect...
Oh, it was perfect design.
Exactly. It's just amazing. And then, if when you look at the way that the moon is created, you look at all those different craters. You don't see any craters that have hit an angle and then skid to a particular spot. Everything seems to be direct head on. Mm-hmm. And they always have the same depth, which is very interesting.
Like it's carved out, right?
Right. And then you have around the rims of a lot of these craters, it's missing a lot of the debris from the center. Where'd the debris go? So it makes you ask a question like, are these real craters or are these artificial domes that are being hidden from our eyes with some type of technology? And then when they drop the ascent module back into the moon during the Apollo missions, and they had the seismometers on the surface, it rang like a bell for over an hour.
Pinged.
Right. Now, what backs this up, more recently, just about 5 years ago, we did a ground-penetrating radar scan of the moon using the Arecibo telescope.
Before it collapsed.
Before it collapsed, yes. And so with the Arecibo telescope, we were able to see beneath the surface of the moon. And what we see in those images, untouched, appear to be what looks like metallic or support beams underneath the surface.
Fascinating.